listeners, it's your bad obsessive Chris here. Just letting you know, this is a very special teaser preview of our Patreon exclusive episodes reviewing Gotham, the series, episodes 1 through 3. Me and Mark are going to cover the whole show 3 episodes at a time, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So please listen to our little teaser, and if you really like it, throw us a few bucks and hear the whole thing. We really appreciate anything you can do. It's helping us make the show more regular and pay editors, and even hopefully we'll get to a place where we can improve some quality and things like that. So whatever you can throw our way would be amazing, and bonus, you get these really fun episodes that we're really proud of. So I hope you enjoy this teaser. This is a very silly comparison, and I recognize that. It's almost like a Muppet movie. Follow me. In that we have Jim Gordon is just the straight man. He in every possible way. Like he is playing it straight.
Which is unfortunate.
He is so I know we would it's look, the love of his life is a child at this point. Like he's got to grow up first. Anyway, though that does make the age difference feel ickier. I'm not gonna lie. Never occurred to me when shipping them that big age difference. But but he's playing it straight, unfortunately. But everyone around him is playing it up so hard in a way that like could not work, but actually works really well. Like it's funny. He is the outsider who comes into literally the land of the camp villain, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
So he is like being
You're
normal,
right though.
Right? Like it's
he's Michael Caine in the Muppet Christmas Carol.
He really is.
Yeah. It's like and Michael Caine played
Alfred. It's all full circle.
There you go.
Oh my God. Okay. I feel like we should, I mean, there's plots we could talk about, but I feel like we should break it down character by character, maybe.
Sure. Let's do it. Yeah.
Let's start with our good old Jim, played by, welcome to the OC bitch, Ben McKenzie himself.
Right? It's so funny because, here's the thing. I always thought he was cute back then, but I never watched the show, right?
Oh,
and so
I love the OC.
Right, because
it
wasn't a certain generation, right? I was just like doing other things at that time, right? I think, honestly, and it's not even just about the OC because, again, it's one of those things where you get busy in life and there's other stuff going on, so you're not watching as much TV as you normally would have, right?
I get it. Yeah.
So that was one of those time periods, but I still knew who he was and I thought he was super cute, right?
Oh yeah.
But like then you see him in this show and I was like, oh, okay. Look at you. I was like, you're a handsome freaking man.
I know. And it's hard to be, and he, it's funny because he's not this type at all in the OC. He's like the bad boy or whatever. Yeah. But in this, it's very hard to make a character that's genuinely straight-laced be this hot and compelling.
Yes.
But he does. And I like wrote down in my notes at one point, I just wrote, okay, eye acting. Because I swear everything is like in the eyes with this character. And he's so good at the like subtle, the just little like, I'm not amused. Like you see the slight eye rolls, the side eye, like all of his sass is in looks. And I love it. It's very subtle.
They picked the perfect person for this role. And like you said, those are pretty big shoes to fill because you've had some good actors play the part. And
I know
whether they be from like a camp version to like, a more serious version, whatever it may be, this is a very important character. And so he comes in and then I was like, I totally love him as this character. I was like, this is perfect.
Oh my God. I think it's, again, if he was just playing it like the Boy Scout, I think it would get tiring. But there's a couple of moments where you're like, oh, you also are crazy.
Yeah. He has to be able to swim with these sharks.
Yeah.
And there's a moment he's got enough bite to be able to do so. Yeah.
That's such a good way to put it. There's a moment when Fish Mooney says, "You've got danger in your eyes, boy." And I was like, yes.
Right.
Yes,
exactly. Right. And that's just the thing. It's like, that's an interesting thing. And we'll talk about this as we get more into these characters. But I do love that among these Gotham villains and gangsters, there is a certain hierarchy. There's a certain amount of respect that they have amongst each other because of the way they're laid out. And we'll talk a little more about that, how that plays out with the Waynes as well too. because
Oh,
it's an important thing here,
100.
right? So
100%.
yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. But yeah, I think he is perfectly cast. And I honestly, I'm sad that he didn't have more of a career after this. I know he
Yeah.
had like another cop show, but
Yeah.
I feel like it didn't go anywhere. And he's
Yeah.
good. Like he's actually quite talented, but I think
Yeah.
it's subtle in a way that maybe he got overlooked.
Yeah. And you know, and it's unfortunate because I think for a lot of people, just like people that get put in any fantasy setting or anything, they don't
Yeah.
take them seriously sometimes, you know, and it's like,
Yeah.
that's not, that happens and continues to happen.
Yeah, and
So,
he's also
um,
really pretty, and I think like, for all that the rest of the world operates on pretty privilege, I do think it can be hard when you want to be taken seriously as an
yeah,
actor if you're
yeah,
that pretty, which is
yeah.
unfortunate. He is very pretty though. No complaints
What
here.
was that one? What was that one old saying? Was it from like a hair commercial or something from hair product? Don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
100%. 100%. He's just too pretty for this world. That's Oh my God. Okay. So, who do we talk about next? Who do you want to jump to?
Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna, because I'm reading this off a list that I have here.
Perf.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
Ah, yay.
Donald, is it Donald Logue? Is that how you pronounce his first name? Donald, right? Like
Yes.
he plays Harvey Bullock. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Another
He's
person I think
great.
is key. He's, as
He's
much
really
as I
good.
want to hate him,
You
I was like,
can't though, can
dude,
you?
you know what? You also are navigating these waters.
Yeah.
However, this turns out, whatever it is you got going on behind the scenes, because I have a feeling, there's some
Oh,
messiness there we're about to get to big time,
hot
right?
damn. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it just, to me, like, you're the perfect wraparound for Gordon, because it's like, literally good cop, bad cop, right?
Right.
They're like the picture perfect,
Yeah.
like,
And
duo
I
in
think
that sense.
it's almost like good cop, gray cop though, because
Yes,
there's
yes,
so much worse. I mean, in any other place, he would probably be the bad cop, but there's so many worse ones in Gotham that
yes,
he's just like
yes.
gray because he's not the worst. But what does he call him in the first episode? He's like, you're lackadaisical and solvenly.
Yes. I love that word,
I
lackadaisical.
know, it's so funny. He's just
Yeah.
so savage. It's
Yeah.
hilarious. But
Well, Gordon wants to save the world, right? Or like, he wants to save Gotham,
no.
right? And so he has like so many ideals and things that he wants to see make
Yeah.
happen, but literally everything is stacked up against him.
Yes. And
So yeah.
he is like pure-hearted, but also at this point in his career, aggressively naive.
Yes.
Not to go backwards into talking about Gordon again, but like literally, there are moments where I'm like, my dude, some subtlety, some like, I don't know, a light touch might be smart. And he's like, no light touch, I wrecking ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, bless. He's so
I
young.
know. He baby. He's just a baby. Oh my God. But yeah, Harvey is interesting because, you start out and he's so hateable right at first. But by the end of the third episode, I'm like, why do I love you? Like, you
Yeah,
suck.
yeah, there is. It's funny. You have to give it up to somebody who you love to hate, and
Yeah.
yet, like, this is not going to be the same without you. So
Yeah.
it's like, um, yeah, it's interesting that they picked them to kind of
Yeah.
spearhead the two cops that we spend the most time with,
I
right?
know it's
And there's
interesting.
some other ones that we do spend time with, don't get me wrong, but these two are kind of like, we follow their adventures and how
Yeah.
they navigate the Gotham waters. So,
Oh, 100%.
yeah.
And I feel like too, and like in there's that old screenwriting adage, right, where you have your characters save a cat, and that's when you fall in love with them. Harvey repeatedly saves our dumb golden retriever that is Gordon. And I think like you get a fondness for him. Like even though he's a bad person, he
Yeah.
for whatever reason loves his dumb golden retriever partner. And like in the third episode, when he's given the choice between killing this guy he like wants dead
Yeah.
and saving Jim, he saves him, even though he's like, I don't fine. Like, and I think that like makes us endeared to him, even though the rest of the time you're like, my God, you suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, he has the benefit of being really funny, which, goes a long way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who we got next?
David Mazouz, right? That's his, I think that's how you pronounce his name,
Yeah.
as young Bruce Wayne.
Good
Um,
Lord.
yeah,
Speaking of
yeah.
acting,
Little
hot
dude
damn.
has some chops. He has some chops, and you can tell what's brewing under the surface of this
Yes.
young man who
Yes.
has just been through what will be the traumatic life event that is going to completely just drive the
Mhm.
rest of his
Yes.
existence. You
And I
know?
will 100%. And I've seen, I mean, we joke about this on the main show all the time. Like at a certain point, the pearls bounce on the sidewalk and you're like, yep, we've been here because they
Exactly.
go back to that well so often. But I think that what made this scene like I perked up and noticed is his acting is devastating.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he gives this scream, like he turns into a
It's
full
so sad. Oh, it
I know
hurt.
he was like a full horror movie scream queen in that
Yeah,
moment. I was like, get it.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was so devastating.
Yeah. And
Oh
you're
my
right, because
God.
we've seen this play out so many times to where
Yeah.
people don't want to see it anymore, right?
Right. Yeah.
But in this particular instance, it is
Yeah.
very important because of
It
how
is.
far back we've gone, right? I
Yeah.
mean, since then, you're like the only other instance that I love seeing is when it was Teen Titans Go to the Movies and then how they fixed it.
Yes.
So, because that
100%.
scene, I died in the theater when they fixed it, so to speak, and turned back to things to the way they were. And I'm like, they're not. They're oh, they are. I was like,
100%. It's so funny. Oh my God.
oh my god, I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, oh my god, I was like, they really went there, and I love them for it.
I
So
know. It's so
anyway,
good. No, you're so right. It's
yeah,
hilarious. Oh
yeah,
my God. Yeah, I think it was devastating. And then just the way he plays Bruce, this like in the I think it's the second episode. Now they're all I watched them back to back. But in the second episode, there's a moment when Alfred is just like at wit's end and just like I don't know what the fuck is happening with this child like
right,
and
right,
you hear all these things and it sounds like okay classic trauma he's like self-harming
yeah.
he's not eating he's not sleeping but then you go talk to him and he's like no it's not self-harm I am in training just like
Right. And then
you
right. It's like, look,
little
please, it's like,
maniac.
look, I don't need therapy. This is actually for my future. Okay.
Yeah,
So it's like,
I'm preparing. He is like go standing on the edges of buildings so that he can learn to not feel fear and burning himself so he can endure pain. And Alfred's like, what the hell?